Hello, so my name's Michael Conneely and this video is all about the December new moon of the 12th of December. And the title is, The December new moon is horribly fraught and calls for divine Mars and divine Venus qualities. You see, the new moon of the 12th of December 2023 is fraught with aggressive potential and the prospect of our shadow material unfolding negatively. But there are ways of arising as the victor in a loving and intuitive way if we are aware of those ways, which this video and blog post seeks to show and identify. This is actually a time to take a fresh look at yourself, your scripts, your personality expression, and become the loving, strong Mars warrior. Yes, the loving, strong Mars warrior, and express the qualities of divine Venus, of love and warmth. It's crucial actually to know the details of the chart of this new moon, to understand the chart a bit, and to put aside time to do personal perception work, personal empowerment work, intention setting at the time of this new moon, and repeat that ongoingly as the lunation unfolds. So watch the video and read the blog post, and I feel you will be fully clued up. And you can see the chart for this new moon in both Western and Vedic astrology on my Star Wheel Astrology website under the More drop-down, where it shows the monthly astrology charts and other resources. So, first of all, I list the 7 planet placements that have problem energies. So important to understand and be prepared. Number 1, Sun and Moon are in Scorpio. They're at 26 Scorpio in Jyesta Nakshatra, that's 20 Western Sagittarius. The Sun-Mars combination in the sign energy of Scorpio is so aggressive and violent, so tense. So please don't let the anger of Mars Sun in Scorpio wreck things, because actually Venus is in Libra and we don't want to ruin that, and there's a few other good potentials which I'm going to mention. See the potential that I describe for you if you handle this new moon with the right perception and embody the potential it does have that I set out in this video and blog. Okay, secondly, be aware that Mars is conjunct the new moon, Mars at 19 Scorpio. And remember, Mars and Moon just don't get on. When they're together, it's a very bad indicator for one's mothering, if they're together in the chart. You see, Mars excoriates and upsets Moon nurturing qualities, Moon sensitivity qualities. The Moon in the chart for this new moon actually has very low dignity or planetary strength, because it's in the sign of Scorpio, where Moon cannot express its mothering potential, its emotional good qualities, Because in Scorpio, the moon gets upset and angry. And as I said, Mars is conjuncted and Mars trashes the moon's qualities. So challenge number 3, but potential as well, Uranus is inconjunct the new moon at Uranus is at 25 Aries in Bharani Nakshatra. Now, Uranus inconjunct moon will create pressure. We will feel the pressure. And that can just leave us in a negative state of being pressured and retaliating. But actually, it's a positive pressure to make changes, even to bring in revolution. I mean it. Uranus inconjunct the moon can create instability, irritability, and indecision. But explore this energy for its potential for positive change and revolution. Don't be rash, hasty, or impulsive and storm the Bastille. Bring in the new qualities that this new moon calls for, which I'll be mentioning. Okay, point number 4. Lilith is at 13 Leo, and Lilith sends a square aspect to Mars. This means that stuff in our unconscious and our shadow side will arise, will push upwards to be recognised. Now, negatively, this can simply make us angry and complain endlessly and excuse our bad behaviour. But positively, recognise unconscious stuff struggling to be seen and heard, and manage it lovingly, strongly and right. Point number 5. Asteroid Pallas is at 18 Libra in conjunction to Venus at 15 Libra. Venus is in Swati Nakshatra. A bit of a problem in a way, because Swati's power animal is the male buffalo that's sort of all over the place, and the nakshatra is ruled by Rahu. But nevertheless, it is Venus in Libra. You see, when Pallas is conjunct Venus, well, to simplify, it can cause gender conflict and gender struggle and difficulties in sort of defining our gender issues. It calls for conflict resolution. And the Pallas-Venus combination definitely calls us to heal our disowned qualities that we might even have pushed completely into denial and pretend to ourselves that they're not there. But of course they are there, and they're running the show at times. Goodness. Point number 6 of the difficulties of this new moon are that both Sun and Moon are about to enter one of the 3 worldly unsupportive, emotionally unsupportive Gandanta zones. Those are the zones from water sign to fire sign. And obviously Mars is going to go through the Gandanta zone too, from Scorpio to Sagittarius. The Gandanta zones cause us distress and trouble, but they can be openings for the biggest spiritual realizations, because we see that this world and our physical self have all these unsupported qualities, and so we reach out to the divine to find illumination and support. Wow. There's one more point. Mercury turns retrograde at 14 Sagittarius the next day, December the 13th, being retrograde till January the 1st. Going through that Gandanta zone for the second time, and of course there'll be a third time later on next year. Goodness, what a train crash potential for our needed and deserved harmony, peace, equanimity, virtuous behaviour and love. What a difficult new moon. But I do now list 4 potentially positive aspects of this new moon. In fact, one of them, the final one, number 4 in the list, is supremely potentially positive if we don't let the other negative bits wreck it. So point number 1 to bear in mind, Neptune is in strength and stationary at 0 degrees Pisces and sending a square aspect to the new moon. Now, although Neptune moon can obviously lay us open to illusions and delusions and confusion, it's actually also of psychic and visionary energy. So take time at the time of this new moon to see what intuitions come to you, to make a log of them, to develop them and work on them, do a vision journey. And that way we'll see the potentials and tap into them. So point number 2, positive point number 2, is that actually Mars is the apex of a psychic eye chart aspect shape. Mars, although in its dreadful conflict, anger and frustration zone in Scorpio and conjunct fiery sun, nevertheless is actually the apex of a psychic eye chart aspect shape. And so Mars energy, warrior positive energy, can perceive deeply, including perceiving the, as it were, bloodshed energies of this new moon, and so the crucial need to become the loving, spiritual, strong warrior instead. Basically, it's a triangle, this psychic eye chart aspect shape, and Mars is the apex of the triangle. One side of the triangle is that Mercury at 14 Sagittarius forms a semi-sextile aspect to Mars at 19 Scorpio. The other side of the triangle is that Venus at 15 Libra, indeed, Pallas is close to Venus at 18 Libra, send the second semi-sextile aspect to Mars at 19 Scorpio. So those are the 2 sides of the triangle. Now, of course, a triangle also has a base. The base of the triangle is that Mars and Venus are sextile each other. So basically, we have a psychic eye triangle with Mars at the apex. Sorry, I should have said Mars and Mercury sextile to each other. And the twist of the tale is that Mars is conjunct asteroid Ceres, which is about our harvest. And this means that if you perceive and overcome the conflict potential in this new moon, if you perceive the conflict potential and say, I'm not going there, and if you embrace the strong, valid warrior qualities of Mars and the loving qualities of Venus instead, well then you will express care and nurturing attitude to others and to yourself, and that will be your harvest from the psychic eye chart aspect shape. So make the effort to become the champion and keep monitoring yourself. Am I lapsing into frustration, anger, and the negative side of Sun Mars in Scorpio? Deliver a harvest of love and care instead. Deliver a harvest of nurturing to overcome this fraught and angry time. Another point I'd make, please be aware that the nodes of the moon have just changed sign on the 30th of October. So Ketu, the south node, retrograded from Libra into Virgo, and Rahu, the north node, retrograded from Aries into Pisces. Now, let's look a tiny bit about Ketu entering Virgo. You see, Virgo is the sign of health, healing and right living. And Ketu moving there will use its cutting energy to impel us to find stronger and ever better ways of healing ourselves, our physical health issues, our emotional health issues, our spiritual health issues. We might find more appropriate healing modalities to address our issues. We're called to do so. And indeed, Ketu brings in issues and awarenesses from past life and ancestry, which so often underlie our health problems. And Rahu, the north node, has entered Pisces. It's in the very end of Pisces, in the Pisces-Aries Gandanta. And so basically it is an energy call to us to delve deeper into our intuitive methods. So what I'm trying to say is that if you and I can handle the horrible energies of this new moon in a strong and loving way and not give way to all the frustration and fighting and nastiness, then that will actually assist us in our healing, and we can use our intuitions and even a positive episode of vision work at the time of the new moon and ongoingly through the lunation to see where we're going wrong and to visualize us as the strong and loving warrior instead, not be beaten down and messed up by all the aggressions, not attack other people, not project our stuff onto other people, but to be the strong and loving warrior. So it's a time to discover the gifts and potentials in you. It's a time to do self-exploration and vision work. It's a time to embody divine Mars and divine Venus. So may you succeed. May you obtain victory through love. May friendship prevail over difficulties and conflicts. May you move into proper strength expression. The Uranus aspect at this time actually, at its highest, promises us success and rebirth through taking steps of revolutionary change. So, to get a reading, go to my Star Wheel Astrology website. You can also see my worldwide dating site for those on a spiritual pathway. That's Love Star Dating, which is supported by a panel of astrologers and healers. Do subscribe to my Star Wheel Astrology blog and see the many, many healings offered by my wife Maggie Pashley worldwide online. Her website is called www.maggiepashley.com. So, wishing success, strength and love for all of us in the time of this really messy, conflicted new moon. Thank you.